Last Thursday, we concluded our devotion on building better marriages and relationships by talking about when someone gets married, that their focus definitely shifts from me to we. But before someone gets married, the significant other is what happens once we date, get engaged, and eventually get married. But eventually people who get married change their focus from what do you need to, hey, get it yourself. So my question is, what happened? How did people go from what do you need to, hey, get it yourself? Well, I believe because our culture says do what's best for you. But we have to counter the culture, and we have to die to ourselves because it is in our nature to get what we want or what we desire. Think about it. When you got your yearbook, who's the first person you looked for in the pages? It's yourself. You look for you. And if you find yourself and you look great in that picture, what do you say? Man, I look good. Wow, that's a great picture. No matter how anyone else looks in the picture. Why? Because you want to make sure you look good in order for you to approve it. But God wants to give us the power we need to meet our spouse's needs. Because at times, have you ever noticed human love wears out? You're going to have dry times in your marriage and times you don't like him or her and don't want to be around them and have nothing to do with them sometime or another in your relationship. But it's at those times you have to remember that God still loves your spouse. And so should you. And it's in his wonder-working power that will never run dry that he gives you people power and prevailing power to take the towel and wash your spouse's feet, even when you don't have the energy or the desire to serve them or meet their needs. If you look at your marriage like a three-legged stool, your spouse and God, if one of those legs is gone, including yourself, the stool won't work. That's why you have to choose to trust God and ask him to give you the power to meet your spouse's needs. Number one, I want you to remember that God's power is greater than anything needed to transform any marriage because his power can help you overcome your past hurts and mistakes as you forgive your spouse. When it comes to your spouse, there are two things that I think we easily forget no matter how long we've been married. Number one is this, that the person you married is an imperfect person. And number two, so are you. So here's what happens. In a marriage, when you get two imperfect people together, they're bound to make mistakes, say things they don't mean, and hurt each other. They might do it intentionally or unintentionally, but it's going to happen. And when someone gets hurt or you make a mistake, you have two choices in those moments. You can rub it in towards your spouse for what they've done to you, or through God's power, you can rub it out. You have a choice to either rub it in or rub it out, either through your power or through God's. Don't be bitter or angry or mad. Never shout angrily or say things to hurt others. Never do anything evil. Ephesians 4:31 says the key, and that's what it says, the key is not to hold on to past hurts or mistakes. Some of you might be married to a person who has made major mistakes and hurt you verbally in the last couple of weeks, 6 months ago, or 2 years ago. And when you choose to never be understanding and gracious to your spouse, what you're doing is you're destroying your marriage because you've chosen to become an unlikely spouse, an unlikable spouse to them because of the unlikable thing they've done to you. Is it fair what they've done to you? Probably not. But let me ask you a question. Was it fair for what Jesus experienced, dying on that cruel cross for our mistakes? No. But he did it because Jesus knew what forgiveness can do for someone else. After all, didn't he say to God from the cross, Father, forgive them, for they don't even know what they're doing? Here's a biblical truth that will help you to forgive hurts and past mistakes that we don't do well with, but we need to become better at, and that's this: don't keep score. When Luke played soccer, our little son in AYSO, they said, we will not keep score. Well, what do you think every parent was doing during the game in their mind? They were keeping score, because someone has to win and someone has to lose. Now on Thursday, August 6th, we'll discuss why keeping score in our marriage or in a relationship never works. Have a beautiful day on this planet that God has blessed us with, and I'll see you Thursday.